know you've been close with those cousins since getting to know them, and
Yeah,
they are people who believe in, helping their daughter, your cousin, as well as supporting you and realizing whatever it is you want to do to make your life fun and better.
yeah.
All right. So we know that travel has been a big part of your life. I know that you and I have been a part of each other's lives as we've made many moves, each of us together. You had some early challenges once when you went to Canada. Will you describe those experiences and how they led you to dream even bigger? And then, you know, tell us some things that maybe surprised you about yourself or others.
Sure. In between 1993 and 94, I went to a conference at a international self-advocacy conference in Canada. I got everything organized, I already packed my suitcase, got everything checked, got everything right, and somehow I lost my wallet. This is before like the pre 9/11 of today, and that I lost my birth certificate, I lost my ID. I finally got an ID, but I, I lost everything, and people tried to buy this scam, and the airline said, no, you need to get an ID, a state ID, not someone tell you you're that person. And I was very lucky that I have a friend was with me at the airport, and they were getting ready to take off and fly away to Canada. And they were like 5 hours ahead of me. And I was very lucky that my friend Marianne took me to the tag office, and the tag office was making my ID at the site. I was surprised. They said, "Oh, that's quick," but they make the ID, got that. Then someone said, "Oh, I got a copy of your birth certificate," and I asked them I could have a copy of that. And I went to a notarizer, and the notarizer verified that's my birth certificate. And I was like 5 hours behind them. I finally got on that plane, changed planes from Chicago to Canada, and it was really nerve-wracking because some of the things I need to do, I need help and understand. I was very lucky that I have a person who traveled international before. She helped me to fill up the paperwork with the visa, not the credit visa, but the paperwork for a visa to visit another country. And you need to show that visa when you go to the check in into this country. And I was very lucky. I learned a lot from them. Even today, I'm still learning about traveling because I'm so grateful my boss is supporting me. Like when I travel trips for work, or if I'm on a national board for a for-profit business, is asked me to come. And whenever I go to the hotel, they always ask for a credit card thing for incidentals. I say, I don't have a credit card. And we say, you need to pay cash. And it would take all my food money to keep that amount enough. And I'm lucky if my boss Cynthia helped me to get a credit card before I go about do a business trip. Now I don't have to worry about it when they ask for a credit card. I have the credit card, but of course, I'm not going to use the services in the hotel room anyway to sleep there or watch television or use my cell phone to call people. But because I learned from my experience, but also we need to encourage people to learn about themselves when they make a mistake, but not cause a judgment onto that person.
Right. Which means having great expectations for people, having the expectation that people can do what they're hoping to do. And I just wonder if you would also be willing to share. I know that at the end of last year, you were hoping to take a vacation into the beginning of this year, but you had to push that off, and now you're hoping to do it towards the end of this year. Do you want to share about your expectations for yourself and how people have supported you, that just because you couldn't do it at the beginning of this year, you still want to do it later? What is that?
Well, I'm taking a 16-day cruise ship from Fort Lauderdale, California to Los Angeles, California. And 3 years ago, I did a cruise ship for 10 days. But this time I'm decided to do a 16-day one. And because I like to challenge myself, because it helped me to gain confidence from that, helped me gain confidence with work-related stuff, and even my personal side of things. It helped me each time. And with that 16-day cruise ship, 16-day, and I decided when I'm coming back from Los Angeles, I could catch the train the same day at 10 o'clock at night. I'm going to catch the train from Los Angeles back to San Antonio. And that's great because that'd be my end of my adventure for that year, because I worked so hard to help others. Sometimes I need to take some time to take care of myself because it's very emotional, very draining, but I love the job. But I need to do some self-care myself sometimes.
Thank you for sharing that. All right. Well, we know who's in this. I remember when we got together in San Antonio and went to your favorite Mexican restaurant, or at least one of your favorite Mexican
Yeah.
restaurants. Um, so you have lots of support, as you've talked about in this presentation, through your work, your friends, through the organizations that you volunteer with. And I would like to ask, why is it important to have so many kinds of support, different kinds of support?
Because if you depend on one person, they could get burned out and they cannot be affected to help you. But if you have multiple people in your life, from the person who assists you at your home life, because one of the things me and Marcy always joke about, we have like our boundaries and we have our own personal rule. Because she's a big Kansas City Chiefs fan, I always have a rule. Marcy say, this time I want to put your Kansas City Chiefs hat on when I'm talking about some other stuff, not work related, to keep it separate. But at the same time, I have other people have that how I had all the time. Whenever I need to talk to them, they're like available when I need to call them and talk to them upon them. But also let the person choose the support person who works with them, because I'm very lucky that me and Marcia have been knowing each other, like she said, 3 decades. But sometimes people don't choose that support person because in the early days living in Louisiana, I was struggling because I tried to figure what I'm doing wrong. I tried to figure what I'm doing wrong. I tried to teach the support person who was working with me how to do things. The problem was the communications. We have a big communication gap. And I tried so hard to educate her because the agency who hired my support person did not ask me what my expectation of that person who support me. Because if you don't ask people what they needed or how they be supporting, then we butt heads. But misunderstanding, or they don't get it, or they didn't want to go the extra mile to learn it. Because that was a challenge for me from the early days when I was working in my different advocacy jobs, because we need to empower us, people with IDD, to choose the support person with any assistance. Because I'm very lucky that I have a friend who helps with my medical stuff. I have a friend who helped me, who, who is a frontline worker, help me do grocery shopping, help me cook my meals, and do stuff like that, because now I could talk to her about other stuff. I could trust her because she won't break my confidence when I talk about some stuff I don't want to share to people about. Or even my employer, when I need to talk to them about something, if something's bothering me, I could feel freely to do so because they don't cause a judgment onto me. Instead, they try to figure out, okay, we need to figure out how to help support James. We talk to each other, not make assumptions. Okay, we all need to do this. But no, you need to take the time to share with the person what the needs and wants are to make it successful for them.
Thank you. And I think in all my years of direct support, I think what you commented on about not judging a person with IDD about what they want for their hopes and dreams, just to let them figure out how they can. So a little bit more about supporting a great life. Let's talk about that. We all need support. What are the nuts and bolts of support for people with IDD?
Like, for example, when me and Marcy work together, sometimes we get like if someone send me an email or a document I try to read, it's helped me to learn more about it, make it easy and simple what they're trying to say to me. Because sometimes I try to read it and I think out loud, because this is the best way for me to do it. When I'm thinking out loud, Marcia would be in the Zoom meeting or on Messenger or even on the phone. Ask Marcy, this what they're trying to say? Or I'm way off base? Or I need to, or make it simple what they tried to say to me. And even be aware, sometimes I need transportation, like my airline tickets and also my hotel stay. Because like I said earlier about my credit card with the debit card, no, my credit card at work, I could use it for the incidentals when I don't have to put so much money, cash to hold that incidental cost. But also helped me realize that sometimes I need help because each city and state is different. The airport layout is very different because the airport is not the same like the San Antonio airport, because the layout, the land is different where you get your Ubers or your taxis, stuff like that, because they meet different locations. But also, and help people get the work they need to pay carefully because they don't want to lose their benefits. One of the neat things me and Marcy and my other friend Leanne come together is whenever we do things together, I don't want to take a chance to lose my benefits, my SSDI benefits. It's been a long year project to do that because it's been an uphill climb. But with time and a very patient process, is that we finally get from point A to be, because the last year and a half we got stuck in A, but finally we got to B, because I don't want to lose my benefits and to not do anything, lose my benefits or put myself in jeopardy, because I'm very lucky that I have a place I live right now, that have a subsidy program that I could live at, to have enough to pay my rent, all the basic things for your apartment. But at the same time, you could be independent, and it really helped you to believe in yourself. And sometimes I want to pull my hair when we try to get to point B, and sometimes I want to pull my hair. I know I have not a lot of hair, but it just was a challenge thing, with especially with the Social Security. But don't give up that quickly, because me and Marcy have been doing it like a year now, and we finally got to B. And don't sell people short. They say, "Oh, you cannot do B." But with patience and support and encouragement, they could get to B.
And you're right, even though it was a long time and over a year work, but you're right, we got you to the point where we understood how Social Security works and what they need, so that you can do presentations like this and give the speeches and the lessons that you want to get paid fairly, and also not lose your SSDI. So like you say, that you get to keep your apartment, and you get to make sure you have plenty of money for not only your basic living, but that you can take a vacation like many people want to do as well.
Yeah.
All righty. Oh, skip one. Nope.
Oops.
No. What? All right. So we've talked a little bit about you wanting to have other people come up behind you in the ranks, and younger people be new self-advocate leaders. But why is it important to get them talking about their dreams and and the supports that they need? And you've mentioned a little bit about the support that I have given you. And after you talk a little bit about letting the person with IDD lead, I'd like to share a little bit about the support that I give as well.
Okay. One of the great things been going on the last several years now, we're seeing a lot more younger people doing different things from the generation of me when I was their age. Because some of the people who are younger than me, who may want to go to college, they want to go to community college to learn something. They may see something they like to work, do a job, but they need to get like a college degree to do the job, because we need to support their hopes and dreams, and don't make assumptions of the person of yesterday. Oh, this person only could be at the day half, or work in a workshop program, or just stay at home and doing nothing. Let them dream big what they want in life. Because I know several young generation of younger people with disabilities, they want to work at it, want to go to school, and they want to be like the CIS examiners, And I know one person for sure is that he wants to be like one of those forensic unit stuff. And we should support that person. let them get what they want to learn, but at the same time, learn about their boundaries and don't push them too hard. If we push them too hard, if they get fed up and mad, we should not crush that. Instead, try to figure ways to help the person to get to point A to points to B first, then C, then E. But don't rush it through because, like the person said in motto, it's the person in the center what they want to reach. Because some of the people want to go to school, they want to continue their education, and we should help them. Not reject the limitations because of the disability label. Instead, help them to reach that goal. And also hear from support person who gets it to help that person because she's the eyes and ears what's going on with that person's life. She knows what's working, what's not working, or the person's not doing so well. Something's wrong with James. So I just want to let you know you should not push this person. Something's really bothering him, and don't challenge. Excuse me. Let the person to be respectful, respect the boundaries, because the person who is the frontline worker know what's going on. Say, if you do that, then the person will shut down. You need to be careful and listen what the support person say because the person is the eyes and ears of that person because they work with that person.
Well, I would just like to add that in all the years that I've been friends with James and then in a few different capacities where we've done work together and I have supported him in his work, I know that James has many ideas all the time. And sometimes he does just want someone to listen and write his ideas down. I'm not a fast typist, but I can write. And then he did ask me to support him on his role. He is one of the committee members for the President's Committee for People with Intellectual Disabilities. And so when he is in that meeting, I am on the phone with him because, as James said, he likes someone that he can actually be texting a thought to find out if he's catching the idea correctly, to know how he wants to respond. There's many different ways that James asks me to support him. It's not just writing down ideas, but again, we also have worked through his financial situation to make sure that his federal subsidy is safe. So I know that James, as I've learned, his unique way is that he wants someone who can be flexible and changing as his life goes. And I try and support him in that way. And I think that helps to give us a better friendship as well, because we have really learned the ways that we like to have our lives go. And at this point, he knows how I like to have my life go as well. So it's been good. So James, you've talked a little bit about peers, but let's expound a little bit upon that. Can you tell us how can peer mentors and developing self-advocacy skills help people with IDD, with disabilities, live a big life?
I think help them to realize they could do things for themselves, but also to see someone is doing the same thing. Because I remember, oh gosh, I'm going to age myself, like in 1990, 91 or something, around that time, I met Nancy Ward, who is a self advocate, used to live in Nebraska, but she's living in Oklahoma now. That early on in my career, I said, Michelle, I want to be like this person someday. And in the self advocacy movement, because it's great, then you could filter into yourself to others by the actions you're doing, the work you're doing. Because, like when I decided several years ago to devote my life to sexual assault stuff. I didn't have a guide or map, but I hope other self advocates see me that I could be a peer to help them to be a sexual assault leader too, because I love to teach others how to overcome their fears, being independent because because I know sometimes sexual assault is a very sensitive issue of some of us, but somehow you need to don't let it inhale you instead of hold you back, but instead help you become more independent for yourself. And even pure advocacy, like going to the Capitol, or we're doing a training class, doing a speech at a conference about mentor stuff, because we're training other advocates to how to go about learn about the advocacy parts of the movement and also understand the bills and laws in our state, because that's important, because then they could share it to the younger generation, and that younger, it's like Johnny Appleseeds. When you drop off apple seeds, the apples just form all over when you put seeds together.
I agree. Again, I think here is very important, and I know that's something we strive for in strategic education solutions in our work day to day. All right. Well, that brings us to the end of your presentation, and we would like to move into question and answers. I've put up the slide here, if you can all see. We would like to share that you can learn more at selfadvocatecentral.org. You can also hover your phone over the barcode on the screen. And we're going to start off by answering some of the pre-submitted questions that some of the participants sent in. And also, you also might notice, but James's email is up on the slide. You can send James questions if you have, and we'll help him to get answers back. You can also send your questions to Texas Integral Care, and they can pass them on to James. His email is capital J and then small Meadours at strategicedsolutions.com.